We must collect the index before we can activate the installation.
This is the worst field trip I've ever been on. So, welcome to the library, everybody. Where do I start with this level? I've alluded to it before by name, and this is a low point in terms of Halo's, levels. Fucking song again. First and foremost, a new type of flood. These are carrier forms. They soak up a shit ton of damage, and when they die, they explode, which releases more infector forms. If you get close to them, they fall to the ground, and then they explode, releasing more infector forms. They like to hide in corners, because they're bastards. But that's really it. Anyway, why is the library so infamous? Or a low point? Well,
We are near the index chamber. Follow me.
do you see this level layout? The sort of circular, route we're taking. Well, of course you kind of can't, because the level in the original graphics is dark as shit. That's what we're going to be doing for the next half hour. Just going in circles.
The energy field above us contains the index. We must get up.
We have to get up to the top in order to get the index and get the shit out of here. Except, the problem is we're dealing with the flood. And nothing but the flood. Yeah, they're just gonna keep showing up. They're not gonna stop spawning. They're just gonna show up. They're gonna come in from those little alcoves in the wall. Just everywhere. But at the very least, the shotgun continues to put in work. You'll see why you're seeing why I sing this damn gun's praises when dealing with the flood. It's so good against the flood that they nerfed it in Halo 2. It's still good against the flood, but they just don't give you as much ammo. You have 30 in reserve instead of 60. And then they nerfed it again in Halo 3. You now have 6 shells instead of 12. Hey, they really want you to suffer. Or change balancing. It's really that. It's really just a balancing thing. But still, I just hate the flood so much. Which, ooh, boy, howdy, do we have something to talk about to hopefully fill in time.
Sealed automatically. I will go access the
Before I get to that, get used to Guilty Spark fucking off and you having to deal with flood, which sort of you might not notice, but it's a common theme in this level of Guilty Spark fucking off. And
Please follow closely. This portal is the first of 10.
I'm not even playing and I hate hearing that. So, as everybody has probably heard, Microsoft has done the stupid and laid off at around 9,000. I'm hearing conflicting reports. It is in the thousands. 9,000 was the one I was seeing. I've heard 8,000. I'll put up a definitive number somewhere on the screen here. But regardless, a lot of people have lost their jobs. And projects have been cancelled. Everwild by Rare got canned. The unnamed project by Romero Games got canned, as well as the entire studio got laid off. And they're not even a Microsoft subsidiary, too. And thrisely, and this hurts me, the Perfect Dark reboot got canned. And its developer, The Initiative, is just gone. They don't exist anymore. What the shit is happening? Why? What? I have been thinking about this more and more, but that Activision Blizzard acquisition has got to be one of the worst fucking things to happen in recent memory to the industry. Like, I don't even know how and why the FCC fumbled this so badly. Like, this is probably like the biggest win they could have gotten, but apparently they fumbled it like a basketball player with Parkinson's. Like how?
We must continue.
It boggles my mind, really. Like, let's go step by step. Let's talk about Perfect Dark, because that's a very prescient one, at least to me. So, the Initiative was formed back in 2018 to work on quadruple A games, and their first big project was the Perfect Dark reboot. I think everybody was excited to at least see Perfect Dark coming back. I was excited to see it back. That gameplay reveal trailer, which apparently has some rumors of it being faked, which I've seen someone out there. I think they were part of the Initiative, stating that no, it was real. It very much was real. It was running in engine and was real, basically. But how can you put together a development studio, have them working on something for about 2019, 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24, for 7 years? Have them working on one game for 7 years. And when they show the fruits of their labor publicly a year ago, and then a year later, you cut them off. You say, nah, we can't afford this. We spent too much money acquiring fucking Call of Duty. Yeah, I agree, it gets worse. Like, come on, man. Come on. And Romero Games, like, John Romero is one of the godfathers of the first-person shooter. Why are we not giving this man a blank check to just do whatever the shit he wants? Ah, but you see, Dan, that's called Daikatana. I'll take about, like, I don't know. I've never actually played Daikatana, but, like, still. But still. The fact that the man who helped make first-person shooters, his entire studio is just gone? Like that? What are we doing? Fucking Call of Duty has the skeleton of id Tech in it. That's how influential that man is. Or I should say that, you know what I mean. Hopefully you know what I mean. But I just don't understand what Microsoft's damage is. It's just nuts.
Oh, hello.
Like, how exactly are they gonna, like, come back from this? Like, I've been thinking a while about how, with all of these layoffs happening, especially last year, and God knows that if it's gonna get worse out there or not, like, if you hear news about all this stuff going on, about all these people losing their job, how is the industry still alive at this point? Why are people hearing stories about developers losing their jobs and then just... How is this industry not crashed yet? That's my question. How is it upon hearing all of this that consumers have not lost faith in the industry? How unworkable must the market conditions be for consumers to say, this is not worth it anymore? How can an industry that makes more than movies and television and practically every other type of entertainment out there, how is this a stable working environment if, even if you do a good job, you're still gonna lose your job? It's not right, and it's not fair. So, because I suck at transitions between topics, there is some good news, at least, that we got today. And by today, I mean Thursday. The Stop Killing Games movement. They have reached over 1 million signatures on the EU Citizens Initiative, and the UK Parliament petition has reached over 100,000. Now, obviously, the more signatures, the better on that front, but I'm very, very happy on that. But for the uninitiated, what is Stop Killing Games? Well, it was started by the man in charge of the Accursed Farms YouTube channel, Ross. And it's a consumer movement with the aim of getting developers and publishers to have an end-of-life plan for video games that would be rendered unplayable if a server were to be taken offline. I'm gonna put a link to the website in the description. I would very much recommend you check it out. I would recommend, if you are in the EU, you sign the initiative. If you're in the UK, I would recommend signing the government petition if that's still up. I can't do any of this because I am from that place below Canada, so I can't sign either of them. And I was going to do a standalone video talking about the recent kerfuffle regarding one Pirate Software, who is a starch opponent of the initiative for reasons I don't exactly understand, despite hearing what he has to say. Because what I took umbrage with Mr. Software regarding, and what the main focus of the video would be, which is probably the reason why I axed it, because it would take away and detract, I think, from the movement itself, is that how Pirate Software went about explaining his point and appeared to, with knowledge, or I should say, knowingly, try to put the kibosh on Stop Killing Games and get it dead in its tracks. And basically, how he handled all that and said it. Now, I have a communications degree with a focus on journalism, and one of the things that they taught us is one of the core tenets of journalism is to minimize harm. That when you are reporting on something, you open up the subject, could be a person or an institution or what have you, to the public. So, say you're covering a recent murder, and you have to interview a family member of the victim. By speaking to that person, you open them up to reopening that personal wound if it's fresh and whatnot. And even by talking about it to the public, you know, you could open them up to, you open them up to sympathy, you open them up to ridicule from people who are meanie poo-poo heads. But the main point is to ensure that as little harm as possible that you can bring to the subject, you try to ensure that as little of that harm is brought to them. Now, Pirate Software is not a journalist. He is a developer and a content creator and a streamer. He's the farthest thing from a journalist as he could be. If he were a journalist and he went about covering Stop Killing Games in the manner that he did, he would probably most likely have a restraining order from every newsroom in the country. And just the sort of tone he had regarding it, as if his viewpoint is the correct one, it is the right one, and anybody who disagrees with that, what the shit happened? And anyone who disagrees with his viewpoint is wrong and an idiot. That's what I took. That's what I didn't like. You know, I think that if you're going to talk about something, you have to talk about it in a manner that both informs and educates somebody. Now, I'm not entirely sure if I have done so in the times in which I have spoken about the current goings-on of the industry. And hey, look, this is what the anniversary looks like and sounds. As you can see, it's much brighter. So yeah, that's what I was talking about like ages ago. But fact of the matter is, at the very least, I try not to be a dick about things towards, you know, other people's opinions.
As a race was dependent upon it. I am grateful to see that some of them survived to reproduce.
And you know, basic human decency is just the least you can do, especially on the internet, where because we have a level of anonymity, we don't exactly have to face any repercussions regarding how we act towards one another. I've always lived by the old umbrage of if you have nothing nice to say, you say nothing at all. But of course, if what you have to say, if it's something not nice to say, you put it in a way in which both you and the person you are speaking to about it don't end up punching each other out at the parking lot of a Denny's. That's just me. Maybe I'm a rare specimen. I don't know. But yeah, that's really why I axed the video. It's just I didn't really feel it would be appropriate at all to talk about it in that way. I started writing it, but then as I was writing it, I thought, no, this wouldn't be right. It wouldn't, now wouldn't be the time. Or the time in general. Anyway, welcome to a room that's a complete pain in the ass on higher difficulties. You just sort of locked in here and have to defend yourself against waves upon waves upon waves of combat forms and infector forms. But yeah, now they're using shotguns. So at the very least you get shotgun ammo, but also on higher difficulties they can one-shot you. This is a real pain in the dick. Thank God it's over. I mean, we're almost done with the level, actually. Which, I say,
Please stay close.
when,
Time is short.
as I've been talking, I haven't really been paying attention to what's been going on screen, but the library is made up of 4 identical floors, so... And I'm pretty sure this elevator is going to take us up to the 4th floor. But yeah, I should probably mention the flying laser dudes. Those are sentinels. They're good at dealing with the infector forms, but combat forms is more like, it's more like they're just, they're good at dealing like chip damage. But yeah, 4th floor, last floor, so we're almost there. in terms of games I've been playing recently, I just finished the remaster of Raidou Kuzunoha versus the Soulless Army, which, if you don't know what the hell that is, if I just spoke gibberish, I didn't, thank God, but it is a part of the Shin Megami Tensei series, and is it's an action RPG, actually. It's very short, too. I finished it around 20 hours. I was really looking forward to it, because copies of Raidou 1 are stupefyingly expensive. Like, I bought my copy of Raidou 2 years ago, and that was around 50 or 60 bucks. So I was very surprised. And very glad that they were doing a remaster of Raidou 1. I remember that the Atlas actually leaked the existence of the Raidou remaster through the Steam achievements of Nocturne HD, which I don't even know how you do that, but now please remaster the sequel, Raidou vs. King of Badin, and Digital Devil Saga. Pretty pleased with sugar on top. Because, like, this is a damn good game. Like holy shit. I'm very happy with how it turned out. And I may do a standalone video on it. I don't really know. I need to sort of figure out a few things before I like do things, because I don't know if I want to change the format on how I do things.
Are already hard at work repairing your vessel. Its parasitic nature belies the flood's intelligence.
I'm thinking I could do with a little more experimentation, because, you know, I want to try different things and see how I do with them, and if that would stick. But that's neither here nor there. So, about the gameplay for this one. You know that you are nearing the end once you get to this door, and you got all that flood. Right past them is the index, and so we're done with the level. The problem is getting there. You got a shit ton of flood. You got carriers. You got infectors. You got bastards up top. And I am going the wrong way. I'm pretty sure I'm just trying to loop around and deal with as much as I can. Because yeah, it's basically just trying to clear a path towards the index to just end the level. Which we are getting there. Get me the hell out of here, you bright blue bastard.
The energy barrier surrounding the index will deactivate when we reach the ground floor.
You go all the way up just to go all the way back down. Fuck you, Guilty Spark.
You may now retrieve the index.
My gaming rig will be legendary. I'll call it Alienware. Hey, that's mine.
Protocol
Dick.
requires that I take possession of the index for transport. Your organic form renders you vulnerable to infection. The index must not fall into the hands of the flood before we reach the control room and activate the installation. The flood is spreading. We must hurry.
Oh, man. I sure can't wait to see what happens next. Nothing bad? Probably. Maybe.